product to the town of Frommer. This proposal represents a collective effort by our engagement team and is a reflection on Lifley's philosophy of what matters most in client satisfaction. Our fees are based on the amount of time required at the various levels of responsibility. We estimate that our fees for the audits are as follows. $10,500 for the audit of the June 30, 2019 financial statements, including out-of-pocket expenses. If a compliance audit, single audit is needed, we will add an additional $4,500 fee, total fee of $15,000 to perform the additional work. $3,100 for the review of the June 30, 2020 financial activity. We do not anticipate the need for a compliance audit on the June 30, 2019 fiscal year based on our discussion with Jan Crispin. Our standard hourly rates vary accordingly to the degree of responsibility involved in the expertise and the experience level of the personnel assigned to your audit. Our invoices for these fees will be rendered as work progresses and are payable on presentation. The fees are based on anticipated cooperation from your personnel. A compliance audit is not required. Any assumption that unexpected circumstances will not be encountered during the audit. If significant additional time is necessary, we will discuss it with you and arrive at a new fee estimation before we incur the additional costs. Now, are we just reviewing this for now, or is this something that needs to be?
I don't think it's really a contract because we don't have it signed. It's just a proposal to bring it to your attention and stuff to make sure that it's something that you agree on, the terms.
Okay. Now, were these people have anything to do with our past audits?
That's the ones that did our audits.
Okay, these are the people that have done our current audits.
The current audit. We have not had an audit done except for this last one for probably anywhere between 10 and 20 years. And I've talked to other clerks, and they've said that since we had Lifley do ours this time, it would be a lot easier to have the same auditor come in and do it than have somebody brand new come in and start all over again. It would be more expensive if we went in and had somebody else come in and start all over again, because that's what they have to do. With Lifley doing our last audit, they should be able to pick up and go cheaper than any other.
Okay.
Well, that's one way of thinking. The other way of thinking would be that if we put it out to bid and we have a recent audit to go by, that the audit process would be simpler the second time around for anybody, and the price would be less as well.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So is that something you guys think we might need to do, is put this up for
I
a bid?
recommend we
Yeah.
put it up for
Absolutely.
to take bids
For-
on it.
Yeah.
for bids.
Absolutely.
What could we lose other than a phone call?
Okay,
Well, let's,
advertise it and.
Yeah, let's
do the last
advertise
one.
it and put it up and see what we can come up with, and when do we have to have this?
The annual review is due by June of this year, and the audit's already overdue. I mean, they've been overdue for a while because we've been waiting to get
This one done.
the last one done and this
Right.
one going
Okay,
and
so
stuff. And
this
we didn't
one-
know we needed another
Well,
audit.
let's get
Until this audit was
that
done.
request for bid out as quickly as we can,
Yeah,
and come to some agreement.
You're hitting about the right time of year because everybody's done. The schools are done with their audits and all those, the big players. So you're hitting about the right time to do it
Yes,
and maybe
yeah.
get a good bid.
okay, so that's what we'll plan on, and we'll revisit this at another meeting. Okay?
Give me a kind of a feel for when we're needing to have this thing wrapped up as far as the picking another additional audit team.
As
Is
soon
this
as
something
possible,
that
as
should be
soon
done
as-
yesterday?
It should have been done, yes, a long time ago.
That's not the right answer.
Well, but we had to wait for this audit to get done before we
Right.
could, I didn't even know we were supposed to.
I understand.
The audit was, I asked Whitley when we got done with this audit, if another one had to be done, and he said yes, but not a federal one, just a state one. But we wouldn't have known that until this was done.
Okay, so once, and the bid process is usually
We'll
2
put
to
it
3
in,
or 4 weeks?
we'll put it out in the papers and see what we come up with.
Okay, so let's revisit this at next month's
Next,
meeting
next month's meeting,
Oh, okay.
and act upon it then if necessary.
right. Thanks, Jan.
Okay.
Okay, zoning. Variance permit for Richard Lee. What do we have there? Let's see. Change zoning.
I wish somewhere on this it would state what it's presently zoned for.
Presently zoned as commercial, according to our computer system.
Strictly commercial,
Strictly commercial.
and we're requesting a change in zoning to multifamily, is that correct?
Residential, yes.
And this is the old bank building.
The bank building.
The South Montana, right
Okay.
Change that from,
Is this something that we have to talk to neighbors about?
I would think so.
I don't know.
I don't.
I mean, this is part of
It'll affect that entire community.
Yeah.
Right.
there.
Right.
I mean,
Typically, a sign is posted next to the property stating that there's a zoning variance request, posted minimum of 30 days prior to a decision date that's expected. That way it's publicly posted, not just somewhere in the newspaper. Everyone in town has the ability to view that as they pass by.
okay.
Would that be in the city ordinances then? Is that a rule from the city ordinance? Is that a rule
Well, being that our city
of
ordinances
thumb, or
are,
what?
200 years old?
Right,
Oh,
is that,
No, it's
is that a
not.
rule of thumb?
But what the city ordinance
If
says,
you
you have to
if you go to
advertise.
Billings and you look at a variance request next to a piece of property, they're all posted. So whether or not you wanna stay in the, 1910 era or join the 2020 group,
I can pull our zoning stuff and give you guys copies or whatever after.
If you would, please.
Yeah, and if it does call for a sign to be posted, let's get with Jay, then we can post a sign that asks for that, and then if anybody has any issues with them making that into a residence.
Are they going to a single-family residence, or is it gonna be a multifamily?
Well, this says
This
multifamily,
this is
Okay,
a
so it'll be
multifamily
apartments.
request.
At least two.
yes.
You have to advertise, you have to get signatures within 300 feet
I
of
was gonna
the,
say it's already made on there.
yeah. That's what's required. You have to advertise and then you have to hold a public meeting.
Yeah, it says here, if you cannot obtain the signatures of all the property owners within 300 feet of your property lines and still attach the form indicating you have not obtained 100% of the property owner's signatures, in the event 100% of the signatures are not obtained, a public hearing on your request for variance must be held. So whoever's doing it has to have
You
within
have to have-
300 feet.
okay, that'd be mine too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you have to have the signatures from everybody within 300 feet.
Within 300 feet.
Mhm.
And we're talking about the piece of property right over here.
Yes,
Right
right on the
next to
corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would, yeah, that would include you
Yeah.
guys,
No, the one that we look at
Terry,
off
and
of our deck.
everybody all around there.
That's- no.
I own that building, it's not very easy to get people to rent that as a commercial building in town. And if Fromberg doesn't need more residences to rent, then, leave it commercial. But
Close.
if people are coming into town looking for a place to rent, that would be a nice duplex.
Yeah, it would.
It really would.
Is it the,
It would be better to
is
sit
it the
there.
old church, or is it the old
No,
home?
Or have a marijuana shop go into it.
Yeah, sure, talk to that.
You want to buy my house?
It's around the corner.
Okay, so you wanna contact them, Jan, and
I
let them
will.
know what they gotta do to.
He's
He
the owner,
can-
he's the owner right here, Mr. Lee, right here.
Okay,
On it.
okay, so if you wanna get the signatures of everybody around that.
Does it say you have to have permission of everybody and a public hearing, or?
No,
No.
if you can't get 100%, you have to
Then we
do
get
a
a
public
public
hearing.
And I don't
I don't see why you couldn't get
foresee
100%.
probably a problem at all.
No, I don't either.
Hmm?
So if you would do that, so we can,
It has to be
bring,
done.
and you can bring that to the next meeting
And
then?
I live right next door to that.
That's next month then.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll,
Is
we'll
that-
decide his date at the end of the meeting.
Is that gonna be too long?
Let me just interject. If something comes up and you need it to help make a sale,
That's what I'm
let
getting
us
at.
know. And we could possibly have a
A
special meeting
Right, cause
We're
it
here-
is
we're not
pertaining
here
to a
to-
sale
to
because
prevent this.
right.
We're here to
someone wants to
expedite.
do something with that building, if it doesn't get done, it won't go through, so.
Yeah,
Yes,
Just
you
let
got a
us know.
question?
May I address Mr. Lee, or ask a question,
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
They're one of your neighbors.
Would this be, like, two condo buildings attached to each other, or how is that going to work out, because we live pretty close to there?
It's split
so-
off into 2 units already, so I can't see it being anything bigger than that.
it's transforming the existing building, not building a new one.
Right,
Okay.
but I'm just curious as to how many residents would actually be living in that area, you know, we take care
One
of
side
that.
could be a 2-bedroom, maybe one other side could be a 3-bedroom.
Okay,
I think once we approve it for multi-family, I mean, if we couldn't tell them that they could only have 2, or they could have 3, or
right,
whatever.
right,
But we
Once
could
it's
stop that.
deemed multifamily, it's
Right.
multifamily.
right.
Yeah.
But, being.
I can understand your concern.
Yeah?
Yeah, and we mow
Traffic
that
and
property
everything
in
on there.
between and keep
We
that
don't
all
know
up,
how
so,
that's
you
all
know,
gonna-
it's just,
gonna work. But that's something that you two could discuss when you're over there to their house. And you could explain to them what you plan
What
to
your
do.
concerns are.
I mean, completely understand that, you know, you wanna get the process moving along, cause you have people interested in that, and, you know.
It'd probably be less traffic than when it was 3 businesses in there.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
It
Jeff,
won't
you
be,
have
but that's when it had the most traffic.
So, kind of towards Richard. So have you gone through the process of determining parking, where that's gonna happen? Is it gonna be in front of the building and back of the building?
I do, rentals and billings, and usually a 2-bedroom house, you might have 2 cars.
Okay, well, that was sort of. not
3-bedroom
the
house,
answer
you
to
might
the
only have 2
question.
cars too, unless the kids have a bunch of cars.
Have you made,
So there'd be side
Specific
parking on the south
determinations.
side, because there's parking out there already.
uh,
Somebody could build a garage in the back of the lot, too.
And stay
so
within
that'd be
the
a variance
setbacks.
in of a separate building
Yeah, 'cause it's
permit?
got all
So
that
if you
open
decide
lot.
to build, you'll need to come get a permit.
Just depends how much money
Right.
whoever's trying to do it has, it's all
Right.
about money.
So,
Trying to
I'm
do
not
that.
trying to be a difficult individual, but should I not choose to follow that train of thought? Do you have other alternative, directions that you can go?
There's not very many people looking at that building.
For commercial.
Not too many people wanna move into Fromberg, to tell you the truth, so it's not.
Yeah,
If you guys can find any businesses to show up in town, boy, turn them on to that. It's a nice building.
yeah, it is.
Okay?
Okay, so we're gonna
So
We're
I
gonna
need,
table that.
table that, yes.
I just need the signatures 300 feet both ways, even the commercial people
Yes,
going this way too.
300 feet, anywhere around,
And I gotta get all those signatures then.
yes. And if you need it sooner than later, let us know, and we can set up a special meeting.
Yeah, I do
Otherwise,
need
we
it.
can schedule it for,
For me to do the legwork to get up there, get up here and get those signatures, tough.
You can Montana cadastral and send it to them.
You could probably, put that in somebody else's hands, if you choose to, a prospective
Someone in
buyer,
town.
perhaps.
Yeah, and it just has to be a form saying, I'm thinking about doing a variance, or do you guys have more forms to fill out for this then, or is that it?
No, that's all we have is, so you could just, you could do probably a small
Just
letter,
a
just
form,
saying.
little form letter.
Just right at the top, try and turn it
Yeah.
into multiplex.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
address and,
What you're trying to do.
Okay,
There's probably something on the state of Montana website as well, as far as variance
Yeah.
documentation.
usually it's whatever the town has for rules and
Yeah.
regs.
But you were looking for just a basic form.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll have something there.
And all we have is just not much.
Right,
So, make up your own little deal on top of the paper, what you plan on doing, and take it around and see if you can get everybody to sign it. And explain to them, you know, what the parking problems might be and where the parking's gonna be at, and
Let's play devil's advocate for a moment and say that you get 90%. And this has to be taken to the next step, which is the.
public
the
hearing.
Public hearing. Is there any timeline, guidelines in this sheet that sets that forth?
That one doesn't
No.
say it, your actual ordinances say that you have to advertise it and then hold your public meeting. That's what your ordinance
Okay.
says.
Does it say how long the advertisement has to be?
I think it has to be 14 days or whatever.
Usually
Yeah,
2
it's
weeks.
generally 14 days and then
Is
you
that-
hold your public
You have
hearing.
to advertise in the paper? or
Yes,
just,
it has to be advertised in the paper, is what the ordinance do state.
And we can always talk to our, city attorneys and make sure
Yeah.
that everything's
Yeah,
done
make sure
correctly.
that's legal for us to do that.
So whatever we can do to help you out, let us know.
yeah, so the
Yeah.
biggest thing is just getting the signatures
Yeah.
in for me on my end and then present that to you
Yeah,
guys.
right.
If you can come up with 100% signatures,
It's a done deal.
then,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's really, what would there be, 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 properties?
5 properties, probably, yeah.
They're 300 feet, 300
Yeah.
feet isn't very big.
Okay, that ain't
And
bad.
the, and the one guy,
Done.
You got, pardon me for interrupting, you got the new property, that's right next to Tina's, she's out of state. The greenhouse,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, and then, what's
Yeah,
it?
Tina's, Fellers.
You have
You got
everybody's
three on-
contact
On
information.
that
already.
side
Yeah.
alone,
Yeah.
us, the fellers.
Yeah.
And
No,
being
You're
fellers-
close.
Does anybody know how to
You
get a
can
hold of the
find
people on the bank?
Oh, we've
On the
got all
phone?
their information
Oh.
at City Hall.
Yeah,
We send them
she
bills.
has their
Oh,
addresses.
okay.
Yeah,
So if you can just, if they're not at home, they'll tell you that,
no,
for some of the people that are gone for the season, and she can get you their addresses and stuff.
Okay,
So that they
you got a
can,
few.
you can send something to them. So something we need to postpone till next meeting,
Well, next meeting, or unless he needs it sooner, and he gets the signature sooner.
but
If he, we can postpone it until next meeting, or if he needs them faster, we can do a special meeting and
Right.
just get all the signatures.
Just let me know, I can
So, okay.
do that.
okay,
okay, thanks.
okay,
Yep.
well, thank you.
Yep. We're done.
Zoning permit for Aaron Lewis?
Yes.
How do you pronounce that?
News, I think?
Muse?
Hughes,
Is Aaron
in the
here?
HS,
He isn't here.
Okay.
home on foundation, where the old house sits. New house is approximately 2 feet longer on the side, 5 feet wider. However, it does not say anything about the age of the home that's being put in there.
Brand new.
It's brand new.
It's all in,
This is
it's all in there.
schematics.
This is schematics, yes.
That's just nice to do.
That's the new
It's
house.
just a tick bigger than the other, but his setbacks, he's still within them. Look at that.
Okay.
He has a lot of room with that house across vacant lot from Canusa.
And he's gonna
Across
tear
from the
down,
school
there's a
yard.
trailer that he's gonna tear down too that's there, so.
Take out that
Well,
yellow
actually-
Right,
screen.
yeah.
Be an improvement to that area?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Right now,
Huge.
that area is not used.
Okay.
huge improvement.
I don't have a problem with
So we,
improvements.
can we talk to him possibly about making sure when he takes the old stuff out of there to make sure he cleans up after himself and the lot, the
Yeah,
lot
you
is.
can, I'm surprised it's not. here, but-
Actually, can't you just pass that with a motion contingent on the fact of,
That's what I was gonna.
Yes, yeah, we can pass it on.
We can pass.
What we have
You've done
here.
it before where you've passed it with the contingency that things are,
Things are cleaned up and
Yeah, so I make a motion that we approve this request for Mr. Aaron Muse.
do we have a second on that?
With the contingent that he cleaned it up.
Correct.
With the contingency to clean up.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the zoning permit for Aaron Muse with a contingency to clean up the mess and get it all in order.
All
All
in
in
favor?
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. Okay. Correspondence. I know we have Terry Feller listed as the first person on our correspondence list.
Yes,
And Terry's not here.
Yeah, he's at work. I guess.
Pardon?
I guess he had to work tonight.
Okay. What, since some of our meetings, we've been very sparse on the meetings because of the COVID-19 thing. And we know that the town, we've had several people come up with some issues that they find that they want to come in and discuss and debate. So we were bringing this up to our city attorneys in a way that we can deal with this. So, talking with the city attorneys, they sent a letter out. And I'll read the letter.
before you read it, Tim, let me just interject kind of what I feel about what you're gonna read here.
Okay.
And my thoughts are that a lot of the questions and the more emotional issues that are brought up in this meeting have a lot of questions involved with law and, you know, are we legally bound, or should we legally do this or legally do that? And without a lawyer sitting in this chair, we pretty much have to, we just have to defer. There's no way we can answer those questions, because there is not a lawyer in the bunch. And I hope you guys understand that. So that kind of goes to what Tim's about to read.
Yeah. So what it is, our town, and it says mayor and town council. It says Kyle and I have served as town council for several months. In normal times, we would have attended council meeting and been at town hall more frequently. I regret that we could not do that, and like you, look forward to normal times returning. Kyle and I work with several local governments, entities in central and eastern Montana. We are generally of the belief that seeking resolutions of issues is in the best interest of our client, districts, and towns. Legal challenges and other legal problems are expensive and often do not result in solutions pleasing to everyone, including the advocates. We are aware there have been several complaints stated against the town. We understand that a recent council meeting was interrupted and the council adjourned the meeting before conducting its business. We also understand that no written complaints have been submitted. We propose setting specific times aside that Kyle and/or I will be in Fromberg to hold office hours. We will invite citizens to schedule specific times to meet with us. We want to hear specific requests of the town and to receive specific complaints about the town. We are not interested in holding town meetings where disgruntled individuals or groups list idle threats or unsupported allegations. We are interested in hearing fact and law-based grievances and requests. We will do what we can as town council to address concerns and attend to legitimate claims. We would bring matters to the council when council action is required. We would resolve matters on an administrative level, working with the mayor when possible. We offer this plan to remove pressure from the council's meetings so that the town business can be conducted and to provide a forum for legitimate concerns. I am not asking for council action on this proposal. If there are questions about this proposed method of addressing concerns, please let Kyle and me know. We hope you are all well, Jeffrey and well. So what that is they want to come to the town of Frommer at a specific time for an hour and a half, 2 hours, because with both of them here, it's about $300 an hour. So, we would need, if people have a complaint that they would like to issue, as in, like Terry. He's got, with his zoning, with his property stuff. Terry would bring all his information into the attorneys, sit and explain everything that he has done and what he's found. And the attorneys would then look at it, make a determination, and maybe they'll take all this information and do their research and find out what can or cannot be done as far as the city. That alleviates us from guessing. And that's some of the things we've done in the past, is we've guessed, and it's not the right thing to do. So to get it right, we need the attorneys to look at it, and not just for him, but if anybody has a legitimate complaint against the town, then they need to bring it in and talk with these attorneys.
Can someone make sure that he gets a copy or he gets notice of all of that you just read or presented?
He sent it
He's
to
the one
us.
that sent it to us.
Oh,
The
Terry
lawyer sent it to us.
Terry Feller sent that
No,
to you?
No.
Oh, that's what I
The
asked.
attorney-
I'm sorry, maybe I wasn't clear.
No, nothing
I
to do
was,
with Terry.
The attorney has not yet set up a time.
right, but I
of when
would
to
like
do
that
this.
he hear that from somebody firsthand, not secondhand, just,
This
If you-
letter will be posted.
okay, thanks,
Yeah, a letter will
That's
be
all.
posted, and I can go talk to Terry
thanks.
and make sure that he's aware of it, so
Yeah.
he can bring his information in
Yeah,
and sit down
thank
with him.
you, yes,
So that those issues are resolved.
absolutely.
And any other issues that anybody in town, it will be posted once we figure out a time that the attorneys can do this, because they are very busy themselves. And like I say, it's very expensive to have the guys come up here, so if nobody's gonna complain about it, or there's no need for them to be here, and we don't wanna have them come here and just sit and twiddle their thumbs, because these are guys that are high paid and they know what they're doing.
And I think that's a great idea.
So,
too.
yes, it is, it's a very good
Yeah, I
idea.
think that's a great idea.
It'll do that. So, does anybody have any questions about that?
It'll just be posted when that's available.
It will be posted, yes.
Okay,
So, and it'll be posted in the normal spots, right?
Yes.
Here at the post office and senior center. Okay. Well, since Terry is not here, then I'll talk to Terry and let him know that
yeah,
these things are gonna be available to him if that's something he wishes to do.
great.
Okay, so now we have, is there any other, let's see, Kate Warner Combs letter.
That falls under the same.
That falls under the same,
Maybe.
she wants us to vacate an alleyway.
Okay, that will need to be brought before the attorneys.
Let me ask you something. Is this something that we have to vote on? Is this something that I can tell what my opinion is? on these vacation requests?
Well, as far as the
Because I'll tell you
vacating-
what, I don't agree with any vacation of property by the city, myself.
Okay, that's.
I don't see why we would want to give up property.
Well, and I'm not sure I do either, depending on what piece of property it is.
I don't know, I don't care if it's a piece of dirt on top of a pop can.
But
I wouldn't give it up for nobody's business. Myself.
okay, Nate,
That's just me.
what is your feelings on this?
I mean, once you get rid of something, you're not gonna get it back. I mean,
Well, and I think you're opening yourself up to a lot of hassle.
yeah.
I know.
Well,
a
yes,
couple
we
of
are, and
people
that's
that-
one of the issues. But it has to be a decision that the council looks at first. And I would kind of like to know how the entire council feels about it.
Well, first you have to have a lawyer's opinion,
Okay?
and then you go by individual cases. Some spots have never been used by the city. You can't even recognize them as city property. But they're not what we're talking about. What we're talking about here is a good old-fashioned land grab.
Yeah.
So, so
Okay.
Kate wants to have an alley vacated?
Alongside her house, vacate an alley. That alley is still usable.
And it's still used by people.
Not so much.
Whether it is or isn't,
Well,
I don't know why that would matter.
There's that same
We
issue
don't
at the
want to
end of our
repeat
property.
any of the problems that we've brought into this council in the past.
Mhm.
So maybe we just have to stop, evaluate, and find out what the attorneys have to say is what's legal and not legal, and what we can and cannot do. Now, as far as with all this property, because the town does have, like Bill said, there are some parts of town you can't recognize as town property. However, alleys and streets and stuff, I think, my opinion, they need to stay regardless. Otherwise, we lose the ability to grow.
Well, it's a safety hazard as well.
Yes,
Yes.
and exactly right. Yes, you have a
There's a
question.
piece behind my property that supposedly belongs to the city. It's an alley, but there is no crossing of the ditch there. But they, supposedly that's city property. How come they don't take care of it?
That's a good question. We should be.
Huh?
We should
We
be.
should be.
Yeah, well, I've weed eated it, I've sprayed for it. Nobody ever comes around and does that. The
However,
neighbor and
I do
me
think
the
that
neighbor
there
and
is an
myself-
ordinance,
take care of it.
I do think that there is an ordinance that states that the property owner is responsible to the edge of the road.
That-
Yeah,
And
that's-
as
This
far
is
as
not-
behind
this
your
is an
property,
alley.
Not on alleys.
yeah, I don't know about the alleys.
My fence
But-
line is about 5 foot off my garage. The
I'm-
ver-
I mow my alley. And it's something that I would just as soon Jay not have to do.
Well, everything I
Well,
know behind my place